short starting soon today because we need to get on into this game. We gotta beat it today. That's right. Hello, gamers. We are beating the final chapter of Ace Attorney Investigations 1 today. Hopefully. I don't know how much left there is. We've discovered who the Yatagarasu is, so there's probably not that much left. I'm assuming it's just finding out who the killer is now. Which, you'd think that'd be the bigger thing than finding out the Yatagarasu, but you know. Last time we caught Callisto Yu, who was hiding as Shina, and now we gotta find out who the dang murderer is. It's gotta be one of the ambassadors, I'm assuming. Not sure which one, but one of them. Yeah. Maybe both of them. Ooh, that's how there's 2 murders. That'd be crazy. Well then, let's hop right on into it. With the Turnabout Ablaze, the videotape's testimony. Woo! March 15th, 12 a.m., the Atrium Neutralis lobby. So now we know who the Yatagarasu really was. And yet there remains much to this case that needs to be resolved. Like how the weapons crossed country lines, for example. The 2 countries have incredibly strict security systems and entry procedures. Short of a miracle, it's impossible for someone to have smuggled them in. Smuggling them in, huh? We will need to open a new line of investigation on just this aspect alone. But before we do, I would like to go through my evidence once more. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. How much evidence do we have? Still 3 pages worth of evidence. Yeah, there's wires, the hair sticks, videotape. Interesting. Hey, there's a VCR here, sir! Gumshoe, it is 2018. What the hell is a VCR? 2019. Whatever year this game takes place. I don't know. Probably 2019. Now we can see what's on that tape Detective Bad gave us. This piece of evidence from the KG8 incident, hidden from sight for 10 long years. I guess we still gotta find out the smuggling ringleader and everything. I guess there's still a lot to solve. Maybe we won't finish the case today. We'll try. I'll go as long as I can. I just know that this is related to the current case somehow. Detective Gumshoe, if you could please play the tape for us. Sure thing, sir. Movie night! Oh. This man. It's Manny Cochin. And he's holding a knife in his hand. This looks like footage from a security camera at the entrance of an apartment building. And he's got the Yatagarasu card. No one's gonna point that one out? An apartment building? How do you figure that? Unlike you, I actually read the summary file on the KG8. I actually read the summary file on the KG8 incident. Hello. And the crime scene was the victim's own apartment. So this footage was shot at the entrance to the victim's own apartment building? At the trial, Mr. Faraday claimed that this piece of footage existed. However, no one could find it. Yes. Somehow, someone is able to steal it and hide it through Mr. Ernest Amano. I can see how this would have been a definitive piece and why someone would want to hide it. But it's a piece of evidence from a 10-year-old case. There's no way it's related to this case we're working on now, sir. Oh, you'd think. Gumshoe. But oh, you are oh so wrong. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. And also, even if it wasn't, this is motive. He's one of the victims in our case. This videotape is motive. For whatever reason, whether the person was related to the victim in this case, or they were the one who stole the videotape. There's motive here. Actually, I believe it has everything to do with the case we're working on now. The ringleader even went so far as to use Mr. Portsman to retrieve it. Which means that in this video lies a very inconvenient bit of footage to the ringleader. Where? Where? Wait, what was that? Huh? That bit you played just now. Please show it to me again. Oh. This car. This is something we cannot overlook. Why is that, sir? Look here, Detective Gumshoe. Oh, the flag.
Take that!
This is the national flag of the Principality of Cadopia. And because it has the national flag on it, we know this to be an official government car. But the question we should be asking ourselves is, what was a government car doing there? Ooh. Miss Von Karma and Mr. Edgeworth. So you were here all this time. Hello, buddy. Convenient timing, Ambassador. Ambassador Alba. Thank you very much for continuing the investigation, even at this time of night. If only I was even a tiny bit more careful. This tragedy would never have happened. I am truly sorry. This wasn't your fault, sir. This had nothing to do with how careful you were. You idiot. Carcass, you couldn't chase after a simple thief. Now then, let's get down to the real reason why I came looking for the two of you. I would like you to put the investigation on hold for a while. Can't you do that? That's not sus at all. That's not... Come on, buddy. Excuse me? I heard you've apprehended the thief that turned this embassy upside down. And we are in the middle of an event celebrating our country's reconciliation. We can't exactly have the police and detectives walking around here forever. You're scaring the visitors away, so I hope that you can understand how I feel. But we must finish our investigation and resolve the remaining issues. Why don't we leave the rest to the Alabastian and Babalese police? Ambassador, we are so close, just a little more and... Miss Von Karma, I'm afraid I've made up my mind. And without my permission, you can't proceed with your investigation anyway. Right? Damn, he got us. That's true. However, as he said at the very beginning, this area can be considered to be Alabastian soil, in which case we are nothing but foreigners in their land. Is this really where our investigation ends? Shifu! We found Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Oh hey, Lang's back. Shifu, this way! Yo. Hey, I love Lang. Lang's great. Agent Lang, you're back on the scene rather quickly. If I laid back and took a break, I'd lose the scent of my prey, Mr. Prosecutor. Agent Lang, why have you returned? Because I have to solve this case no matter what. Lang's doing well for someone who was just shot in the leg. He's thriving. Well, I'm sorry to inform you. Don't take this the wrong way. I don't suspect you personally. However, a member of Interpol was just found to be a thief, and so... Under these circumstances, I wish to put your investigation on hold. Oops. After all, I believe our own police can handle things from here. They are quite capable. I love that sprite. At this rate, our investigation really will come to a close. Ambassador Alba, I get it now. I really do. Oh, I'm very glad you understand how I feel. No, not that. What I was talking about is... I know who the killer is behind tonight's murder. Miles Edgeworth. Gasp! You... No. The... killer? Do you really mean that, Agent Lang? Wolves don't lie. Then who is it? Well, let me first say that I'm not talking about Mr. Cochin's murder. That was all Shana. Lang Ji says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. I don't think Manny's murder was Callisto. Because she said that it wasn't, and I mean, she had no reason to lie at that point. She was already getting arrested and stuff. Very interesting. Lang Ji says, the truth lies not at the exit, but rather shines outside the maze itself. The truth is unexpectedly simple. So let me ask you this. Who do you think was Damask 2's killer? I'll tell you who. Oh! It was you. It was you, Franziska von Karma. I was the killer? That's not where I thought it was gonna go. I don't think Franziska's ever been accused of murder. This is an interesting, turnabout. Hey, wait, but that's impossible. Yeah. Although, that whip is actually quite... Ow! Hold your tongue in that ludicrous remark you were about to make. Agent Lang, are you seriously accusing her of murder? Yeah. He actually said yeah. Yeah, I am. He doesn't appear to be joking. Hey sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech, he called you into his office, right? Yes, he did. But what does that have to do with anything? I'm getting to that. Furthermore, in order to solve both cases, you moved around rather freely between Alabasta and Babal, did you not?
Objection!
And where is your evidence that I am the killer? I was just getting to that. Trust me, I'll show them to you in due time. Ambassador Alba, in order for me to bring this case to a close, I'll need to inspect your office one more time. Will you grant me permission? Now that Franziska's being accused of murder, that makes everyone in this party having been accused of murder at least once. At least once. Edgeworth's been accused of murder multiple times. Kay was accused of murder earlier. Franziska was accused of murder right now. And Gumshoe was accused of murder in the flashback. That's so funny. Will you grant me permission? With things as they are, I suppose I don't have much of a choice, do I? Good. Then let's move out. Oh, and don't even think about running away, sis. My pack will be keeping a close eye on you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. As if I would have any reason to flee. But just so we're clear, your logic had better be sound. Because I'll accept nothing short of a perfect explanation. She seems rather upset, not that I blame her. I expected that you'd accept no less. But we'll see how long you can keep that nose of yours stuck up in the air like that. Damn! Damn.
Hold it!
Agent Lang, as someone related to tonight's case, I request that you allow me to take part. And so that I may clean up my superior's mess. I guess I should. The more the merrier, especially when it's the peanut gallery. Oh, in that case I want to join in too. I still haven't seen what it looks like in Alabast yet. If you like Kayan, then you gotta let me in too, pal. I can't sit around and do nothing when Miss Von Karma's in trouble. Hey, Gummy, let's have a competition to see who can save her first, okay? Okay, I'll take you up on that. Oh yeah, I'm fired up and raring to go. As a detective, I don't believe this is something you're supposed to be excited over. Sounds like this is gonna get real interesting. Ambassador Alba, I'll be bringing these kids along for the ride. Very well. But I'd like you to keep in mind that this will be your last chance. I'll have this whole mess cleaned up before you know it. Now let's go. A fun thing here that'd make me appreciate Lang more is if he knew it wasn't Franziska, but he's literally just accusing her so that they have an excuse to investigate. That'd make me really appreciate Lang as a character. I think that works for him. I can see him doing something like that. Because any other explanation is just him accusing Franziska just to accuse her. I'm like, what would her motive be? March 15th, 12:53 a.m., Alabastian Embassy, Ambassador's Office. Okay, now let's first go over the facts one more time. Manny Cochin's body was found over in the Secretariat's office in Babal. The weapon that took his life was one of Alabast's ornamental knives. And then the body of Damask II, Mr. Kashinu, was found here in the Alabastian Ambassador's office. Through our investigation, we found that the murder weapon was this Primaduck statue, and that this is actually Babal's statue. This case, no matter how I look at it. Sis, if it wasn't you, then there's no one else who could have pulled this off.
Objection!
Agent Lang, do you understand the full implications of what you are saying? Of course I do, sis, and I'm serious. You were on the trail of the smuggling ring, and you wanted any evidence you could find. And so, while people were distracted by the Yatagarasu's appearance, you snuck in here. That's when you two ran into each other. You and that other thief who took advantage of the confusion from the fire.
Objection!
Even if all that were true, how do you explain the movement of the weapons? Don't worry. I plan to show that you're the culprit behind that too. You had permission to investigate both embassies at will. With that kind of free reign, you could have easily taken the weapons across country lines. Hey, oh! He caught her whip! Oh, that's really cool. That's a really cool animation. Hey now. Look, sis. I thought I already told you I'm not messing around here. Ugh. This case isn't directly tied to the smuggling ring. But Shanad certainly is tied to the smuggling ring. He is right in saying that she is a member of the smuggling ring. If I have to say smuggling ring one more time, I'm going to lose it. However, the connection between this case and the ring— oh my god! That's 4 times! The sentences ended with the word ring. Could it not be deeper than what any of us can imagine? Ugh. Let's get this ridiculous circus over with already. Don't mention circuses, Franziska. Franziska, you need to calm down. Because you only know the facts of the Alabastian side of the case. I don't believe you can see the case as a whole, and therefore solve it. What? But don't worry. I'm taking this seriously as well, and I will prove your innocence. That's the only way to be, Mr. Prosecutor. But can you come up with anything else that can top my hypothesis? Of course, your explanation has to solve the mystery of the moving weapons as well. Of course I will. Let us now delve into the truth behind the murder of Damask II. You do understand, don't you, Miles Edgeworth? This isn't just a confrontation against Agent Lang. If you can't figure out how the murder of Damask II is related to the smuggling ring, then it will mean the end of our investigation. Okay. As long as I have no good counter-argument to his hypothesis, then the best I can do is walk this thin tightrope and see what I can do. Come on, Mr. Prosecutor. Let's get started. Yes, let's. Border crossing weapons. One of Alabast's knives was used in Babal to murder Mr. Cochin. And the murder weapon in the killing of Damask II is Babal's Prima Duck statue. Somehow, these two objects were able to penetrate the two countries' impenetrable security. The only one who traversed the two countries just before and after the crimes was you. So as long as I can't explain how the weapons moved about, Franziska will remain a suspect? You got it, Mr. Prosecutor. So why don't you stop giving me a hard time? Under these circumstances, who the heck can carry a weapon across country lines? I've worked through every possibility, but there's only one that's plausible. Your boss. Agent Lang, what I've learned from you just now is that you've lost sight of yourself. What are you talking about? By focusing too intently on which is in front of us, we become blind to the truth. Spitting bars. Don't tell me Lang Ji never said anything to that effect. You prosecutor. Who do you think you are, speaking about Lang Ji's proverbs like that? I don't need his proverbs, because my words are all you will need to see the truth. Okay. No. Because, weren't the statues?
Hold it!
Impenetrable? I should hardly think so.
Not so fast!
You've seen the top of the wall between the two countries, right? Who in the world could cross over that? Yeah, not even I could climb over that thing with all that barbed wire. The only way into either embassy is through the doors in the Theatrum Neutralis. So the only way for the knife and the Prima Duck statue to traverse the two countries is through those security camera-equipped, well-guarded doors.
Objection!
Agent Lang, those two items are not the only two to cross the border tonight. Oh. Damask II was killed as Babal's Prima Duck statue, yes. But if that's the case, then tell me, Where did Alabast's permaduct statue go? To Babal. Precisely. And if the two statues really were switched, then this means that both statues were smuggled across the border at some point. Which means that a total of 3 items were smuggled across the embassies. I guess so. But you know what? It doesn't matter the number of items. Only that the sis is the only one who could have done it. Because the only person who went back and forth between Alabast and Babal is her. Yeah, he's got a point. Is that really true? Was there no one else who traveled between the two countries? Actually, there was definitely another person. One who paid a visit to both sides of the wall. Oh, the Yatagarasu?
Objection!
Thank you for the hydrate. Is that really so, Agent Lang? What a lousy time to try and bluff your way out of this. I checked out what the guards said along with the security camera's footage. So you're not going to overturn my hypothesis that easily.
Objection!
But suppose there was some other way other than through the theater doors. What other way? The other entity that managed to cross the border unharmed. By pointing out, it would open up a whole new possibility. And though I hesitate to bring this out, as long as this entity exists, the impossible road becomes a possibility. It looks like you've got some clever idea in mind. I do, and I can show it to you through a single piece of evidence. Fine then. Let's see this piece of evidence that will show me this other route. This piece of evidence will show us another way to move between the two countries. We still haven't used the samurai dogs at all. Oh, was it chucked over?
Take that!
Agent Lang, I'm sure you're familiar with this unforgettable photo. That supernatural photo. Like I said before. Humans can't fly. No, of course not. I understand that perfectly well. And don't start claiming that Shana somehow grew wings either. I don't know, maybe. I wouldn't dream of claiming that. And I won't allow you to take back what you've said either. I'll say it again. It's not humanly possible to fly through the air without wings. So you'd better have a good explanation for this, Mr. Prosecutor. But how can I prove who it was that flew through the air in this photo? Wait, not humanely possible. Eureka. Very well. You will have your explanation. Sounds like you have a good idea simmering inside that head of yours. Let's hear it. The face hidden within this photo's blurry trailed shadow is... It's one of the statues, right? Yes, I think it's this one.
Take that!
Yeah. Naturally, the shadow is the third smuggled object, the Primaduck statue replica. You can't be serious. The Yatakarasu, or rather Callisto Yu dressed as Agent Shana, was inside Babal. She dressed the replica statue up in clothes and launched it through the air. Mr. Prosecutor, you left out a very crucial bit in your explanation. I know I did. She launched it through the air. And how exactly did she do that? He's literally baring his fangs at me. But he has a point. How exactly did it move through the air like that? As long as this remains unsolved, we won't be able to move any closer to the truth. Oh, the wire? We haven't had an explanation for the wire yet. Maybe? Which reminds me, didn't he say this earlier? Hey sis, I remember that just before Ambassador Alba went to give his speech. He called you into his office, right? So just before the murder, Franziska was called here, right into this very room. If that's the case, then that may be another avenue I can pursue. Agent Lang, in order for me to answer that question, I will need to hear testimony from Miss Von Karma. Oh, what are you up to now, pretty boy? Oh my god, he's flirting. Oh my god. Pretty boy. Oh my god, hi. Hey, Lang. Does not even address that. Earlier, you mentioned something of interest to me. You said that just before the murder occurred, Miss Von Karma had been in this room because Ambassador Alba had called for her. And for that reason alone, you believe her to be the killer. Yeah, I guess I did say something like that. In that case, I believe it is my duty to ask what her side of the story is. Do you really think a criminal would tell us the honest truth? How dare you! As I've said numerous times, there's absolutely no proof that I am the killer. Miles Edgeworth, don't tell me you suspect me too. I don't. However, I can't ignore the fact that you were in this room at one point in time. Which is why I would like to hear about it from you. Franziska, I feel that I still don't have enough information. Which is why your testimony is incredibly important to the outcome of this case. Alright. So, what would you like me to talk about? I'd like you to please testify to your movements up until you came into this room. Alright, let's try this your way for a change. But if what she has to say turns out to be a waste of time, I'll place her under arrest faster than you can howl, "No!" As you wish. As you wish. Movements in Alabast. As I said earlier, I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the Steel Samurai off on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden for a bit and checked up on the security situation. After all the preparations were in place, I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office. Franziska, I want us to make this clear from the very beginning. So what I wish to confirm is that the only time span in which you were in this office was before the murder occurred. Is that correct? Yes, of course. I see. For now, the only way that I can see for us to break out of this situation is to ask Franziska about her testimony in more detail. Okay, we gotta press her. Movements in Alabast. I was assigned to guard duty in the Alabastian embassy. After I saw the samurai on his way towards the ambassador's office, I returned to the Rose Garden bit and checked up on the security situation. Why did you need to confirm the degree of preparation for even the speech? For security's sake, of course. What other reason could I have had? No one knew just how the Yatagarasu had planned on getting in, right? Yes, I suppose you're right. And in the end, the Yatagarasu did choose to appear in the Rose Garden. Even if it did turn out to be nothing more than a shadow. Ugh, who would have thought that she would use a shadow? Ugh, calm down, Franziska. She must still be nursing a grudge over the fact that she couldn't figure it out herself. Anyway, there was no one in the Rose Garden. And we were aware that the speech was set to start soon thereafter. Okay. The preparations were in place. I was called back by Ambassador Alba to his office.
Hold it.
Okay. At that time, Damask II's body had yet to be found in this room. Is that correct? That's right. But Ambassador Alba was here. One could hardly miss his rather large presence. A criminal will say anything to get out of being arrested. How do we know you're not lying? Well, if you need proof, I'd be happy to oblige you. Seriously? Like I keep telling you, When I arrived at this office, Ambassador Alba was already here. He was standing by the flower box on the windowsill, watering his plants. I can attest to that. I remember speaking with the lovely lady around that time here in my office. All right, then. Add that statement to your testimony, and let's hear some details. So Ambassador Alba was in this room at that time, was he? When I arrived, Ambassador Alba was watering the flowers on the windowsill.
Hold it!
Okay. For the sake of being thorough, I'd like to ask you something. How did you know that Ambassador Alba was watering his plants at the windowsill? Well, you see, he was watering his plants at the windowsill. What do you mean by that? The entrance to this room is on this side. However, the window is on the opposite side. I used my eyeballs, Miles Edgeworth. If what you say is true, then when you entered the room, his body would have been like a wall. He could have been blocking your view of what he was doing. Isn't that not correct? I suppose it was a bit hard to see around him. But fortunately for me, Ambassador Alba is not an immovable wall. I knocked before I entered, and as I did, he turned around to greet me, with a watering can in his hand. So it's only natural to believe that he was watering his plants, right? I suppose. After his greeting, we spent a little time talking about his flowers. He had obtained them himself and is growing them with the utmost care, you know. Yes, the plants in this room, they are all like my children. The passion flowers in the flower box on the windowsill are growing beautifully too. All 4 of them are in full bloom. Oh, Miss Von Karma, what did you say just now? Oh, is there not 4 flowers? We have those, don't we? Oh, there's only 2 of them. Oh, yeah, look. 2 of them got uprooted. And... oh my... wait! Look at what the flowers are growing on. Those are, these. The hair sticks. Oh, there's some dirt on the tips. Oh my god. I'm solving the whole case. I don't know what any of that means, but... I'm seeing the connection. What did you say just now? I said that the flowers are growing beautifully. What about that statement do you not understand? What do I not understand? I do not understand why a certain thing is the way it is. I'd like for you to append that statement to your testimony. Very well. There were 4 large passion flowers in bloom in the flower box. No.
Objection!
Franziska, for some odd reason, your testimony contradicts with this piece of evidence. It does appear that way. I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust your words, sis.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing discrediting Miss Von Karma like this?
Don't yell at me, we're solving the case. Yes, sir. If you keep this up, she's gonna get taken away, sir. All I've done is state what I saw. I have not made a single mistake in my testimony. And for this, I am still under suspicion of murder. Is the number of flowers really all that important at this juncture, Miles? At the very least, it is contradiction in this enigmatic case. One that I find hard to dismiss as irrelevant. Then let's hear it, Mr. Prosecutor. What does the number of flowers have to do with anything? What does it prove? I believe the answer to that would become clear if we were to examine the flower box. How did this contradiction come about? There must be something behind this discrepancy. They're my beloved flowers. I've grown them with the utmost care. So I ask that you please be gentle with them as you examine them, Mr. Edgeworth. I understand. Yeah, look, 2 were clearly uprooted. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. The name of these flowers, I believe they're called passion flowers. Despite being called flowers, they are actually a species of vine. Oh, interesting. They appear to be growing well and are well supported by these plant supports. Yeah, but no matter how I look at it, it looks like there are only 2 here to me. You realize, don't you, sis? Your little lie has failed you. Miles Edgeworth? Hurry up and shut this man up for me already. I suppose I will need to use some evidence to shut him up, won't I? Sure. I believe I have just the piece of evidence you require. Oh, you do you? My eyeballs! Look! Look at the empty... Whatever. You have such confidence in the face of your current plight. But I highly doubt it'll last until the end. You howl like a wolf, Agent Lang. But we'll see if you have any bite to back up that bark after you see the evidence. The truth the passion flowers reveal can be seen in this piece of evidence. These? Okay. Shina, who was supposedly in Babal the entire time, had these hair sticks on her. They look exactly like the plant supports in this flower box. In other words, I believe it can be said that these hair sticks are in actuality support sticks for the passion flowers. And so what? Is this really all that important to the case? Maybe. Of course it is. It means that we found yet another item that was smuggled between the countries tonight. Yeah. Think about it logically, Agent Lang. These sticks were originally in Alabast, but somehow they wound up in Shina's hands, who was in Babal the whole night. So make no mistake, these sticks were smuggled somehow, just like the knife and the statue. Very well then. I want to hear from you exactly how they wound up in Babal. How did these support sticks find their way to Babal and why? There must be some reason as to why they ended up there. Aha, so that's why. Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this and tell me its shape. It's just another stick, isn't it? And so it is. But the shape of the support sticks is what's important. For when they are used with something in this room, that's when it all comes into focus. And the object that completes the picture when used with the support sticks is... Oh! Are they crossbow bolts? They kind of look like it. They got like the sharp end.
Eureka!
It is? Alright. That's a crossbow. Wait, you're not really suggesting. I am. These hair sticks, or rather, plant support sticks, they make for perfect arrows. Ugh. I've done it. I found the common thread that connects the two offices. But this thread has yet to be completely untangled. Even using the arrows, how does this explain how the statues were transported? Furthermore, who could it have been who fired these sticks as arrows? There must be a common thread that ties all these things together. Mr. Prosecutor, hold up a second. You do realize what happens when you tie a statue to an arrow, right? They don't fly at all. That's fair. You got us. So Babal's statue was draped in the Yatagarasu's clothes and then shot over here. Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with the statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the primitive statues didn't sprout wings. You're a realist after all, aren't you? That's fair. I'll give him that. The primitive statues didn't sprout wings? Damn it. That was my whole argument. Of course they didn't. Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. What? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. What are you talking about? You're crazy. The Primiduck statues flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time, and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. You might say it's a phenomenon. So a ball statue is draped in the attic around his clothes and then shot over here. Even if you fired the arrows from this side, they wouldn't go far with the statue tied to them.
Hold it!
But we are in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to smuggle were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion of my conclusions. It's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves. Oh, it's the wire, isn't it? It made a line of wire, and then the statues were slid across. The wire's got to come into place somehow, and that makes sense. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow can launch that can be used to move the statues. If it wasn't a statue that was tied to the arrows, then what did the crossbow launch? What? It's gotta be the wire, right?
Objection!
Finally. Finally we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. Heh. I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and then shot into Mr. Cochin's office. All the way from the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy down to the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy. If what you're claiming is really what happened, I can see how Alaba's Primiduck statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down the wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then, what about Babal's Primiduck statue? The dark shadow in this photo clearly flying away from Babal. Going in the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Babalese Embassy up to the 5th floor of the Alabastian Embassy. How do you explain that? I think I finally see how the gears behind his whole trick works. Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick, I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion? This is the motion that was employed to smuggle Babal's Primiduck statue. Rotary motion, swinging motion, bungee action. No, not swinging. That wouldn't make it. Bungee action? I don't even know what that is. Rotary motion? That could work, I guess. It depends. Do they have a pulley system, though? I believe it was done via rotary motion. If the two statues were transported simultaneously... Oh. Was that not it? Simultaneously? Get real. The statues would collide somewhere along the way.
Objection!
Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the two offices? That's right, there was two arrows shot. If you shot an arrow with the two ends of a wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed. I guess. I don't know. Bit of a stretch, that one. Lang Ji says, don't object and call a success what is beyond reasonability. Taking into account the tension difference between the two wires, the top one would sag too much to the point where the statues would collide anyway.
Objection!
Agent Lang, as you know, the Primiduck statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure, and the fact that Babal's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Lang Ji says. Here's what I believe happened. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirators set themselves up in 2 different rooms. The co-conspirator bridged the rooms by shooting 2 ends of wire down on one arrow. Then the 2 of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to the ball, where it was to be disposed of. And to do that, Miss Yu hid it inside the grandfather clock. QED. This proves it, right? This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer. Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor. The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree that as long as there's no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I've laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there's one more piece of evidence. One more. This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact? Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt out of a length of wire. I believe that it is right here in this very room. Now then, I believe this is what made the circular belt transportation method possible. Okay. Oh! Is that why the ceiling fan's in frame?
Take that!
Damn it. Never mind. Heh. Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again. The last piece to the trick are 2 pulleys. Oh, never mind, that was it. Are 2 pulleys. Precisely. The ceiling fans doubles as pulleys in this case. And thanks to that fact that there is one installed in each of these offices, the ceiling fan's made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you figured it all out already, haven't you? You know who the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabastine and Babalese offices. And that the passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. Oh, it's the ambassador, yeah. The real mastermind behind this case. Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food. Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, then why don't you present something like you always do? A single point of the finger here in this case will explode into international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears that I have no choice now but to rush in. There is a piece of evidence that will point as to who the mysterious mastermind is.
Take that!
This smuggling cannot have been possible without the use of a crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big that Miss Von Karma didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both offices had ceiling fans tells us that the person had a very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So as you may have already guessed, the person I am accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with utmost care. Thus, it can only be you, Kerkus Alba. Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? Would you rather me accuse you? I'm certain of what I'm saying, and I am sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the ambassador trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand your need to doubt me. However, there's one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If I were to examine the focus of this complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence.
Take that!
I would fully understand that the reasoning had the situation been the reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping the real Primitive statue for the fake, I sense a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. Yep. Because why would he want the fake? He had the real all along. And who better to ask for that reason than King Primadux himself? I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. Damn. These are Mr. Koshin's fingerprints. The fact that they're on here suggests that this statue once belonged to Babal.
So it's smuggled from Babal to Alabast, huh?
Why was there a need for them to smuggle it in?
This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? It's because they look alike that he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador?
I suppose that's possible. Take a look at this area around the base of his neck. It looks like a gap. Oh. Yeah, there's something inside.
Hey, you're right. Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret?
Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in its construction. What? Hurry up and open it, Miles. Alright, here goes.
Wow, it really did open up. Hey, what's this thing that fell out?
I believe a more thorough examination of it is required. What in the... is this? Hey, is this what I think it is? It's a plate for making counterfeit bills. Oh. Somehow, it appears that we have at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates, and the reason why the replica was smuggled into Alabast to begin with. Interesting. The Primadux statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat, and the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances make the statue the ideal object on which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing the counterfeit plate from Shana, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damask too. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damask too and... Oh. Then in order to frame the steel samurai of the murder, he covered the samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba? You're the leader of the smuggling ring. My country is a mess, and it's all because of you. You're the one who killed Damask too? Answer us. I never thought that you would figure things out to this level. However, there is one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin. Oh.
Not so fast.
I don't think so. Quit screwing around. I have no sympathy for someone who tried to pass the guilt onto a dead man. If there is one thing I'm sure of, it's that you're the real ringleader, Kerkis Alba. It's not good to speak with such objectivity, you know, Agent Lang. Subjectivity. My conclusion is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation. Logic and investigation. Only seconds ago, you were ready to arrest Miss Von Karma. You got him. Called him out. I don't think we can give such flip-floppy logic any real weight. Do you? It looks like you still don't get why I came back. Excuse me? You see, the reason I came back is so that I could sink my fangs into your wrinkly old neck. From the very beginning, my real target has been you. Hey! If he's not lying here, I totally called that. What? Agent Lang, I demand an explanation. Sorry, sis. I didn't mean to put you through all that. Hey! I love Lang. Great character. Fantastic character. I totally called it. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning. You did? I knew that this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for. So naturally, the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around. Ah, so that's why you put on this big show to accuse Franziska of the murder. Using Franziska as the bait, you were able to gain us entry and investigative rights. Yeah, if I hadn't done that, I doubt the ambassador would have given the okay to poke around. So that's what all this was about. Very well, I will forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth. Agent Lang, for giving me such a great opening, I thank you. Aww. You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor, that somehow if we were able to find some proof by investigating this room, that you would be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brand of logic. The evidence detectives collect combined with the logic of a prosecutor. That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right? Aww. Aww. Let's kiss. I mean, what? Who said that? I don't know about all that. One thing I do know is that I'm itching to see that old man get what's coming to him. You're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you? Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guilt onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged me. Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you have what is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring.
Objection!
Don't be such a sore loser. If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes with dignity. Dignity? That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. Don't use my word. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like to first see some of this thing you call evidence. I tell you, I knew nothing, really. I didn't even know that a counterfeit plate was hidden inside that statue.
Objection!
Okay, that's dumb. That's a dumb lie. That's not even a good lie. That's just a really bad lie. You swapped a real statue that vested in your country the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything. Exactly. It doesn't make sense? Where doesn't it make sense? Can you prove that it doesn't make sense?
He's really got us.
He's turned the entire situation around against us. The proof that Interpol has been after, which points to this man as the ringleader. If we can somehow find that proof now, then we can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? The trump card and the videotape. With those two items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. But the card is evidence from a case that Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. And they're both illegal evidence. No matter what, a protector of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. Oh my gosh, Manfred von Karma. Needless to say, we von Karmas are commanded to achieve nothing but victory. And by any means necessary. Oh no. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do so outside of the courts. That's what we thought at the time. I no longer follow the path of Manfred von Karma. And I won't follow the path of the Yatagarasu. This leaves me with what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law, and what is justice? Damn. What a conundrum. And which path is a prosecutor supposed to follow? That choice is one I must make by my own hand, here and now. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! What do we do? No. We can't. We can't turn evil. We can't. I saved. If I messed up, we can go back. I'm a prosecutor, and I can't allow myself to use evidence such as these. Okay. Fine. Let's go back. And watch, I do do that. She'd be like, Mr. Edgeworth, you can't do that. Kay, in the other timelines, you told me to do it.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, we'll use it. We'll use it. There is no limit to the law. Any limit that exists was set there by man. When a person goes beyond that limit, then the law, too, crosses into new territory. For what reason were laws invented? The answer to that is what I must now show. Ambassador Alba, I wonder if you might recognize this. Oh, I wonder what that card is. I've never seen that before in my life. It's a directives card used by the leader of the ring to relay instructions to his subordinates. Oh, is that what it is? This card was sent to the real culprit behind the KG-8 incident 10 years ago. A man by the name of Mr. Manny Cochin. Oh, so why do you have such a card in your possession? Because it was hand-delivered to me by a certain great thief, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu gave that to you? Don't talk nonsense and let's be serious, Mr. Edgeworth. Do you have any proof that the card contains directions from the ringleader? I'll have you know that the card is not the only thing I was given. What? This contains security footage that was shot just before the start of the KG-8 incident. The KG-8 incident? The card and the video. These two pieces of evidence are what will seal your fate. Very interesting. I must admit, I am very curious now. Very curious indeed in these case-deciding pieces of evidence you presented. Thank you for the posture check. The prey the Yatagarasu has been chasing all this time now stands before me. I can't allow this man who has had free reign for 10 long years to simply walk away. Now is the time for me to bring to fruition the valiant spirit that was given to me. Ooh. So what is this interesting thing that you wanted to show me? The trump card and the videotape. These two pieces of evidence together make for the ultimate hand. And this is where the real meaning behind Detective Bad's words will be realized. Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir! What you see here is security footage shot just before the KG-8 murder occurred. From this footage, we know that the card is a directives card from the smuggling ring. This is the section that proves that the card was used to relay an order. Yeah, he's got it right there.
Take that!
As you can see, Mr. Cochin is holding the card in his right hand. I see. The killer is indeed holding a card with the exact same design on it. But that card and the one you have, just because they look the same doesn't mean that they are, does it now? Damn it, he's got us with child's logic. But there is a very easy way for me to prove that they are in fact one and the same. All you have to do is simply take a look at this. The bloodstain? Because that's the stark red blood. Yes, this is your proof. That's the victim's blood. So it has to be this card. Proof that the orders on this card were played out in that terrible tragedy. The blood belonged to the victim of the KG-8 incident. With a bit of DNA testing, we can very easily verify that as fact. If you have no objections, then I'd like for you to take a look at this next piece of footage. This car that passed by in front of the victim's apartment building. It's an official Cadopian government card. What? Detective Gumshoe, if you could please magnify the footage. This area of the footage directly links to smuggling ring with Cadopia. He's got the card in his pocket.
Take that!
The shape of this pocket and the directives card in it. It tells us that without a doubt, this person in this car is Mr. Cochin. The license plate on the card was also captured by the security camera, and with it we can easily find out who was sitting in this car on that day 10 years ago. Which is why I can say with confidence that you were riding in this car on that day. Oh. Oh. Okay. Hey, that medal he's wearing, isn't that the one that was on the reflection? If Manny hadn't been so careless, solving this case would have been a nightmare for Edgeworth. Why did he bring the card with him? That's so sus. You've done well, boy, to make it this far. However, about your claim that I was riding in the car at that time, that's going to be mighty difficult to prove. How so? The Principality of Cadopia no longer exists. So naturally, all records from that time period also no longer exist. That arrogance. What he really means is he's already erased all traces of them. Are we finished here, boy? Yeah, look at him showing off the medal. They're like trying to draw your attention to it. They're like, ah, look at this medal. Doesn't it look like the one in the footage? The only weapon I have left on me now is this piece of footage. Yeah, it's right there. Must be something here that I can use against him. What the? Ambassador Alba? Yes, what is it? You were once an army man in the service of Cadopia. And it was you who made the many missions you participated in successes, correct? Why the sudden backhanded praises, boy? Although, to be sure, the brilliant medals on my breast were awarded to me during the era of Cadopia. But now, I am the only one who owns this particular medal. So it's you. So it's only you that could be in it. In that case, the only person it could be who is sitting in this car is you. How do you figure that? By the medal captured here in this footage, it is clearly the same exact medal as the one on your chest. What? His face cracked. This is how it will be, but I won't look back. For this is the path that I have chosen. You move me with your devotion to this case, Mr. Edgeworth. Why is he taking such an arrogant stance with me? It's almost looking possible, isn't it? For the lot of you to have come this far. It looks like I just might lose our little game this time. You might lose the game this time. You don't get another round, Mr. Ambassador. Is that a fact? Very well. I've decided to confess and admit my guilt. He's admitting because there's more to it. There's more to it than surface level. You're going to confess? And I'll accept whatever punishment that may come as a result. What the? Regarding the Damask 2 murder, I admit it. I did it out of self-defense. You're claiming it was justified self-defense. Damask 2 attacked me and I felt that my life was in danger. If I hadn't done what I did, I might be the one you found dead instead of him. Yeah, but you would also get, disrupting a crime scene and disrupting justice, because he moved stuff around and tried to frame someone else. So, obstruction of justice and disrupting a crime scene. What a pathetic performance. I'm not giving you one.
Wow, you two really know how to laugh at inappropriate times.
If you wish to claim it was justified self-defense, then will we need some evidence? It's always the evidence with you, isn't it? But if that's what you require, I'll provide it. Also, not up to him to prove it, it's up to his lawyer in court. He doesn't have to prove anything right now if he's going with the justified self-defense plea. That man left a mark on me when he attacked. What? I don't particularly want to show it off, but this is proof that it was in self-defense. Oh? Okay. I'm an old man, and sometimes I don't pay enough attention when I should.
But Damask 2 didn't have a single weapon on his body.
Hold on. It's nothing to get worked up over, because I hid the weapon. You hid it? I'm sorry, but as you know, a murder is a murder, even if it's in self-defense. And I couldn't let it become public, seeing as how I am an ambassador. This is the weapon you seek. My special bonsai trimming shears.
Oh, it's covered in blood.
He was trembling quite badly during our struggle. Is that Pinocchio? Yes. But that's when he grabbed the shears that were sitting in my office and attacked. So, you see, it was an act of self-defense.
Is he right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Since he has both a wound and the weapon that caused it, it's enough to declare it so. Okay.
No way.
Oh, which reminds me, I guess there is still one more accusation I need to resolve. Smuggling and counterfeiting. Unfortunately, all of that is my secretary's doing. I had no knowledge it was going on. Stop spewing nonsense. You're trying to throw my investigation under the bus in your desperation. If you want to get real honest, everything in this case can be connected to you.
The murder of the Mask 2 was done in self-defense?
In my trials, no man escapes his crime alive. Perhaps so, if you were my opponent in court. However, there's one important fact that I think you may have forgotten. And what is that? That's what you mean. Extraterritoriality. That's right. This embassy sits on what is effectively Alabastian soil. So any trial that is to be held will be held in Alabast. Therefore, the crime I just admitted to will never be tried in your courts. Agent Lang, what is Interpol's stance on this? Agents investigate. That's our job. The judgment of people who have confessed to their crime. That's the court's job. Oh, and he's gonna get off scot-free. And I've already confessed to all of my crimes, Agent Lang. Furthermore, by the very nature of my position, I have full extraterritorial rights. That's a hard word. These rights are effective even on your country's soil. Therefore, no matter where a crime may take place, I will never stand trial in one of your courts. That arrogance in your expression. That's nothing like the face of someone who is ready to accept the consequences. Don't tell me you have your own country's judicial system eating right out of your hands. These crimes you all speak so seriously of. To me, this has all been nothing more than a game. You may chase me out of this embassy with your accusations, but it's no big deal. Alabast has numerous other embassies in other countries around the world. All you would accomplish is you would change the backdrop of our little game. These two layers of protection that extraterritoriality provides him. This is why he is one of those who cannot be brought to court. You see now, don't you? I live in a whole different world than you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go and fetch your eviction papers. Pfft. Damn. Is there nothing we can do?
Oh, it's still going. It's still going. I'm losing my voice.
We'll see. Maybe we'll have to wait another day to finish it, like tomorrow or something. 2:11 a.m. I can't believe it, sir. Extraterritoriality. That's such a hard word. Extraterritoriality. Yes, and there is nothing we can really do about that. In the end, we didn't have enough authority to bring him to justice.
I can't believe that even though we know he's the boss, we can't lay a finger on him.
I know. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Sorry to skip out on you, but I've got some business to take care of.
If you can't even give an evil guy like him a slap on the wrist, then what the heck were laws created for? What good are they? If the law can't help us, then I'll go as the Yatagarasu and take care of this myself.
Don't you dare. Mr. Edgeworth. Sorry, that was a bit too harsh. I know how you feel, sir. We're trying to take on an ambassador, after all. And he did tell us earlier to get out of the theater. This is kind of their country, I guess. But I feel like I've been slapped across the face for just doing my job. What am I going to do? Should I retreat for now and formulate a better plan of attack?
Come on, everyone. We can't give up yet.
Okay.
want you to think about something for a sec. We've never let up for even a second, and as long as we don't stop investigating, we might find the rotten treasure hidden here.
She's right. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. You're right, Kay. Very well. Let us reopen the investigation and see what we find. Come on, Kay.
Right behind you.
Okay, then I'll go check out Babal a bit more, sir. And I have something that I need to investigate further in Alabast. Okay. This is just me and you. Now then, before I gather any more information, I should do a bit of housekeeping. Passion Flowers data erased from my organizer. Okay. Ambassador Alba seemed agitated over something.
I wonder why.
There are two special circumstances that surround the ambassador. First, the embassy itself has extraterritorial rights. If something happens on Alabastian soil, we are unable to legally prosecute him.
Cool. Sounds like embassies are the perfect place to steal whatever you want.
And Murder Damask 2, run a smuggling operation and make counterfeit bills, apparently. Are we going to find out that he did a crime in Babal? And that's not on his country's soil? Or he did a crime in the theater here, and that's also not his soil? Because it's not part of his embassy. And that's how we're going to be able to get him. And Murder Damask 2, run a smuggling operation and make counterfeit bills, apparently.
But I thought all the counterfeiting was done by Mr. Kochi and Babal.
Yes, he apparently used the embassy's coupon printing press to do it. Okay. But it's the same story over there anyway. Babal also has extraterritorial rights. Which brings me to my next point. The ambassador's extraterritorial rights. Those rights are effective even in our own country. Oh, really? Never mind then.
Really?
No matter what happens, he can never be tried in our courts. He retains some very special rights indeed. Basically, no matter what wrongs he may commit, we can't bring him to trial here.
So I guess we really don't stand a chance, do we?
We might stand a chance if we can somehow nullify either one of his special rights. Okay. Well, let's look at our logic, because we got some stuff. Does this connect? No. Never mind. What about the renovations? Because the Babalese embassy is going... Yeah, there we go. We know that the counterfeit bills were printed using the embassy's press. But the necessary materials, such as the Babalese ink and paper, must have been hidden in a secure location. What do you think would have happened if the renovation had begun?
Well, he probably had to find a better hiding place or get rid of it all.
Right, so we can assume that the renovation was the cause of the plate and bills disposal. And the reason Mr. Koshin was killed as the ringleader of the smuggling operation. Based on what we know, who do you think was the one with the most to gain? Alba. It's the one person who has been erasing all evidence of the smuggling operation. From both embassies, the co-conspirator who is mopping up Ambassador Alba. Ambassador Alba had a very strong motive to kill Manny Kochin. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't want us to investigate that he killed Manny. How did he do it then? How did he kill Manny, though? That's the real question. The cause of Ambassador Alba's agitation, the rotten treasure we may find. And the motive for killing Mr. Kochin. Miss Yu said it herself that she didn't kill anyone tonight. If we were to take her words at face value, then the reason for the ambassador's nervousness can only be one thing. He didn't want us to discover the real circumstances under which Mr. Kochin was killed.
Then you mean Ambassador Alba is the real killer? But I thought the two of them were friends.
Maybe they were, but what if Mr. Kochin was the one who first betrayed their friendship?
Oh, I get it. Wasn't Mr. Kochin pushing really hard for Mr. Palino to be ambassador after the reunification?
Yes, and that was the real reason why he wanted to steal Alabast's Primaduck statue.
So Mr. Cochin hired Damask too to go steal it for him? But when Ambassador Alba found out what he was up to, he killed Mr. Cochin?
It is definitely a possibility at this point.
Those two really were thinking of no one but themselves. But the question now is, how did he do it? Ambassador Alba was in Alabast, but Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babal, right?
Right, and that is what we must solve next. This was taken just before the two ambassadors gave their bouquets to the Steel Samurai. Wait, is it just my imagination? Or is there something in this picture that I've seen before? I won't rest until it's inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. It appears to be a bouquet of Persian cyclamens and roses.
Wow, you even know the exact species? I never would have figured you for an expert on flowers.
It's all because of those flowers that old lady sends me every month. Just look at me, I sound like some sort of botanist.
So, what exactly is this yellow flower here?
That one, I'm not sure.
What? You don't know?
As far as I can recall, I've never seen a flower like this before. But I feel as though I've seen this shape somewhere before. Okay. There's that troublemaker standing there smack in the center making two peace signs.
Wow, the Steel Samurai stands out even more than the two ambassadors in this picture. Oh, hey! The person playing the Steel Samurai is one of your friends, right?
No. No, I have no idea who he is.
Wait, but you just said he! You knew which gender he was, so you must know him, right?
I beg that you please refrain from talking about that person with me ever again. Okay, he says something about the shape. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold?
Oh, it's on the knife.
The ball's national symbol is the butterfly, and Alabas is the flower. It would appear that someone is employing the old hide a tree in a forest trick.
What are you mumbling to yourself about? Wait, what? The handle on this knife. Ah.
Yes, it's the handle that was supposed to be on the blade that killed Mr. Cochin. Oh, is that the knife? The weapon that killed him was carried through the Theatrum Neutralis. In the very bouquet Ambassador Alba was carrying. Interesting. The flower motif. Looks like one of the flower petals is missing.
Oh, and take a look at the weapon itself. It's missing the exact same petal.
So that is the knife. The knife in this photo is most definitely the same as this murder weapon. I believe we now understand why Ambassador Alba was so nervous and agitated. It must have something to do with where Mr. Cochin was killed. A place where the Alabastian ambassador was likely to meet the Babalese Mr. Cochin. A place where Ambassador Alba happened to have committed the murders. He did it in the theater? Oh my god. The only place that makes sense is here, at the Theatrum Neutralis.
What? Here?
The Goodwill event was being held here today, correct? So the only place that the both of them would have been in is here.
But if that's the case, then everything changes. This theater isn't actually Alabastian land. So that wipes out one of those extraterritorial rights he has.
Okay, I did call it. I was right. It makes logical sense, in which case it is a reason for us to investigate further.
So what should we check out?
Let's see. I believe we should check the immigration records for both Alabast and Babal post-haste. Babal's records should be easy to obtain, however the problem will be Alabast. Wonder if they would allow us to see their records despite the order to vacate.
Objection!
I'm already one step ahead of you, Miles Edgeworth. Franziska? I have here the security footage from both Alabast and Babal. You would do well to take a look at its contents. Okay. You move fast. Avant Karma strives to be perfect in every way. It's not in my nature to keep on retreating like this. I took the liberty of looking over the Babal investigation reports as well. From now on, you'll make no excuse to back down or say that we can't solve this case. I'm sorry about earlier. We won't be beaten. Because my cute little subordinate is going to try his very best, isn't he? Hasn't she patronized me enough already for a lifetime? So this video contains footage from Alabast's immigration screening area. I really hope there's something in here that we can use. Okay, let's check it out. Oh. Which minute's footage should I examine? You know what I just remembered? The Steel Samurai baby's still missing. Let's examine 523. Doesn't something about this lump shape strike you as odd? Why that too. I was more focused on the baby.
Huh? Isn't it supposed to be in this shape?
No, there's clearly something odd about the bulge. Okay, Edgeworth. If only we had the pushcart itself, we could compare and confirm my hunch. Steel Samurai, push this to Alabast from the dressing room. The bulge is unnatural. Next, let us check the footage from Babal's security camera.
I hope it shows us something good. Phooey, there wasn't a single sign of a suspicious person or anything.
That right there is the contradiction.
Huh? Did I miss something?
You didn't miss anything, because there was nothing to miss. However, what is missing is the image of Mr. Cochin entering his own country.
But wasn't his body found in Babal?
It would appear that the true face of our final puzzle has finally revealed itself. Oh, Ambassador Alba. I thought I had asked for you and your group to vacate the premises, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, I thought I should let you know that this theater sits on my country's soil. You've had your fun, and I've enjoyed our little game. I dare say that you've even achieved a new high score. However, once you've recorded a score, that same game can never be replayed again. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Your game is done, and it's game over. No.
Objection!
Where do you think you're going at this time of night? After admitting to my crime, I was overcome with regret. So I'm heading to the airport now to return home. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. There's still too many issues we need to discuss with you. You can't stop me, Mr. Edgeworth, and you know it. Oh, hey. Please, may I have a little bit of your time, Ambassador Alba? Ambassador Paulino? Even just a teeny tiny bit is fine with me. The already strained relationship between our countries is a precarious situation, you know. Very well. If you insist, I will play just one more round with them and see what they want. Not that they'll get any farther. Ambassador Paulino. Mr. Edgeworth, All I wish for is the normalization of relationships between our two countries. But there's one person standing in the way of that dream. I believe in you. You'll do what's right. Thanks, buddy. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask me about? I do have a flight to catch after all, so I'm afraid I'm going to have to limit you to just one question. That's more than enough, because I only have one question anyway. I want to hear your alibi about how you couldn't have killed Mr. Manny Cochin. Huh. I see. You seem to have a good hand this time around. This should be fun. This really is the very last chance we have to bring him down. I won't allow even an atom-sized contradiction to slip by. Here we go. Frankly, I still don't understand why I'm being placed under suspicion here. Under your hypothetical scenario, Mr. Cochin and I were fellow smugglers. But to get to the point, I was in Alabas the whole time. No. So it's simply not possible for me to have killed him in Babal. That is my alibi. Because you didn't kill him in Babal. You killed him in the theater. So that is your alibi? That is correct. It's simply not possible for me to have committed a crime in Babal. Now that we've cleared that up, I'd appreciate it if you would move out of my way.
Hold it!
I said, hold it. What is it this time? I thought I told you I'd only allow one question. You did. But you still have yet to really answer my one question. What? Until you tell us the truth, I will refuse to budge an inch from where I'm standing. Very well. I'll play with you just a little longer. Miles Edgeworth, as my subordinate and representative of this country's prosecutors. Give him hell. You are forbidden to lose. Yeah, Francisco. Of course. That is something I've understood from the start.
That guy's the one who ordered my father killed, isn't he?
Yes, I believe so.
The goal of the first Yatagarasu was the capture of the smuggling ring's leader. My father and Uncle Bad, their legacy will live on. Through me. So that's why we've just gotta catch him, okay?
We will. I promise. Now, Ambassador Alba, let's have at the truth now, shall we? No matter how many times you ask, my answer remains the same.
Hold it!
It's not a hypothesis. Earlier we proved it to be what happened. Well, let's leave that to one side for now. Because it doesn't change the fact that I have no motive. Oh, so you really had no reason to kill Mr. Cochin? If you want to suppose I had one, then why not? I'll indulge you. After all, this is nothing more than a silly game to me. Okay, well, he betrayed you, so that's motive. Even if that's how you see things, I'd appreciate it if you would take me seriously. I'm sorry. I suppose you're in a bit of a pickle. Very well. A game is no fun if the playing field isn't level. Therefore, I formally claim that I had no motive to kill. Now let's see you disprove it. How can he stand there looking proud when he knows he killed another human being? Well, I'm not going to stand by and just watch him get away with his crimes. In that case, what motive would I have had to kill my co-conspirator? Do we have the note still? Yep.
Objection!
He betrayed you. He betrayed you. If you want to know, I believe you did have a motive to kill. It was because Mr. Cochin had betrayed you. Ayy. But you had your own reason too. Namely, you wanted to pin the smuggling all on him. Evil begets evil, and because you were trying to test each other, it turned into this mess.
Objection!
Ooh! I don't believe this. You have a bad penchant for telling tall tales, Mr. Prosecutor. And if you're not, then I suppose you have some proof to support your argument. I never use guesswork in moving my cases forward. It has been proven that this note was written by Mr. Cochin's hand. Shall we take a look at it? The content of the note is a request calling for the theft of Alabas Permaduck's statue. By killing him and pushing all of the guilt for the smuggling onto him, you walk away spotless. I believe you understand what I'm driving at. You had more than a few reasons to kill him. Are you finished with your hypothesizing? Excuse me? Let's suppose I did have a motive. Even so, a motive or a thought alone can't kill. Isn't that right? I didn't expect him to resort to playing this semantics game with me. It appears that this is where the real battle will begin. Now then, if you'll excuse me. Wait. What? I told you at the very beginning, didn't I? You only get one question. Ambassador Alba, if you could please give us just a little bit more of your time. It doesn't matter what kind of man Manny was. He was my subordinate. Which is why I would like for us to figure out the real cause of his death. That is something for Babal to figure out, and something which I have no relation to. Now he's even turning down a request from Ambassador Palladino. I'm very sorry, but it seems that now even my voice falls on deaf ears.
There is no need for you to apologize, Ambassador Palladino.
We must find some way to stop him from leaving. It seems that there are no further objections. In that case, please allow me to return home. Oh.
Hold it right there, Ambassador Alba.
Kay?
Like I said, Mr. Edgeworth, the Yatagarasu's legacy will live on through me.
Yes, but how do you suggest we stop him from leaving?
You just leave that to me. Ambassador Alba, do you recognize this?
No. And why should I recognize that tattered old organizer? Wait, where have I seen that before?
That is a clue my father, Byrne Faraday, left for us.
Did you say Byrne Faraday? Ooh. Mr. Faraday's organizer. Don't tell me this is the one from the second KG-8 incident. The one in which he wrote about the Yatagarasu's key?
Yes.
This organizer belonged to the prosecutor you had Miss Yu kill 7 years ago. I have no idea what you are talking about. You say that like it was related to me.
Inside this organizer, he wrote up every detail of every evil thing you did.
What an amusing little girl you are. But that sort of trickery won't work on me.
If you won't believe me, then take a look at this.
And what is that toy there? That's...
This thievery device was used by the Yatagarasu, or rather, by my father.
I like how an imaginary wind has come to make her entrance, like her standing sprite dramatic. No one else is being affected by this imaginary wind. It's just her.
"7 years ago, he used this when he snuck into this embassy."
What?
These two pieces of evidence that hold information the Yatagarasu dug up on you. If you go home now, I won't hesitate to send it all to Alabasta right behind you.
Little girl, get to the point.
I want you to go up against Mr. Edgeworth one more time. If you win, then I'll hand over these two pieces of evidence.
Yatagarasu, ever the thorn in my side. Okay, does that organizer really contain any information on his dirty dealings?
It's nothing case-breaking, really.
No, then it was just a bluff.
And we're saying this all out loud so he can hear. Even if it was, we still can't let all this info my father and Uncle Bad found go to waste. Plus, just the existence of Little Thief is troublesome enough for him.
Those two pieces, aren't they keepsakes of your father?
It's okay. I believe in Mr. Edgeworth. He'll come out on top in the end.
Okay.
When the going gets tough, someone's gotta be there to put the wind back in your sails.
After all this time, you're still quite the feisty one. I applaud your powerful nature. I refuse to lose this, too. Ambassador Alba, you won't be returning home until you give us further testimony. How dare you all, barring a person like me. Ambassador Alba, your testimony, if you please. Alright, but this is the absolute last. Then even if you use all the power of Ambassador Paulino's office, you won't stop me. I can't let this opportunity Kay has created for me go to waste. But... The last time I met with Mr. Cochin was here at the Theatrum Neutralis. After that, I was in Alabas the rest of the time, as I stated earlier. In any case, I did not see Mr. Cochin again after that. So you see, there is no time span in which I could have killed him. Wouldn't you agree? Now, since you people were practically begging, I'll allow you to question me. What an arrogant old man. Yes, but no matter. We can't allow this chance to escape us. I will warn you, though. You've reached the end of my patience. Waste my time with any inane questions and you will be punished. So any needless pressing or presenting will hurt our case. In that case, the only thing you can do is present the correct evidence. Understood? Of course. I don't intend to let him intimidate me. I know Mr. Cochin was killed before he returned to Babal. In which case, there's only one statement to which I need to present the evidence. Last time I met Mr. Cochin was here at the Theatrum Neutralis. Okay, and that's when you killed him then.
Objection!
I'd like you to take a look at this picture. Look at this photograph. It's a rather nice picture, isn't it? It was to commemorate the restoration of relations between our nations. Oh, it's commemorative, all right. One that captures the proof I need to show that it was you who committed the murder. Come again. This is the knife that killed Mr. Cochin. I see you recognize it as well as you should, for it was you who brought it to this theater. You hid it among the flowers you were to give to the Steel Samurai. Okay. As much as I'd love to finish this today, I'm losing my voice. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow to finish it. But I can't continue on. I'm losing my voice. And my stuff I used to read chat is dying. So I gotta go charge that. Oh. So this will probably be where I end stream. I'm gonna wait a second to let it hit the 2-hour mark because it's the first time we've streamed the 2 hours in a while. But I just checked. We should be able to finish it tomorrow. Let me find someone to raid. Who's live? Who's live? Who's live? Who's doing things? If not tomorrow, then maybe Sunday or Saturday. We'll see. We'll see. Who's live? Yeah, we'll rate this person. Oh. And skip. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream. I'll be back maybe tomorrow. Maybe. We'll see. I wish I could finish the game, but oh my god, losing my voice. Blech.
I'll catch you all later. Thanks for joining me. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Sending you off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bye-bye.